Dr. Virendra Sharma, it was so nice to listen to what you contributed here in this country. And in this historical Gurudwara, Amarjit ji, you have arranged this with a great vision. I am sure with all of you will try to make it happen. Time is right. Uh, Baroness Verma gave an excellent opening remarks. She was fantastic, and after actually listening to her, it was such a music and resonance of thoughts we could feel. And followed by Dr. Ramesh Mehta, how a modern medicine doctor coming here, Dr. Saab, the way in which you spoke, with open mind, because unfortunately both you and Dr. Rajiv Gupta, Rajiv Gupta spoke with such a dynamism, and the points which he made are really valid. And that's why I said that the whole world is looking for change, not only NHS. The whole world is looking for change, and we have realized that we are on the wrong trajectory. The book which I just gifted them, the Genome to Om, actually carries the same thought. We are saying that modern science and modern medicine, while we have made tremendous progress, in which direction we are going is very important. If we feel that if more and more people feel sick, they fall sick, our business will grow. Will it be sustainable? Any business which is based on people's agony, how can it be sustainable? So science, by and large, I'm not an Ayurvedic physician, nor I'm a modern medicine physician. I'm basically a biochemist, biologist. So I keep both at equidistance. So I'm not biased against, and I'm convinced that both are needed, for people. People want it. Not only both are needed, but people want it. Various surveys are showing, and I'm sure Darshan, my colleague, will talk about it more. What we are trying to say is modern science use has been more and less to satisfy our own ego, our own desires, our own comforts, profits, and not necessarily very much for people or for nature. So in the process, we have entered the Anthropocene very rapidly, as what we were expecting from Holocene to Anthropocene shift has been very rapid. So today the weight of human-made mass has exceeded biomass. That means plants and animals' weight is less than concrete, steel, and plastic. Where are we going? If I look at the origin of all that, and as a drug researcher, earlier I was involved more in drug research, and I used to use Ayurveda as a discovery engine. But then as I progressed, and we did a good job there. We discovered and we devised new methodologies. We could patent and we could, all those drugs are even today available in the market. But then I realized that reducing Ayurveda to herbal medicine, I'm doing a great injustice on the system. Because Ayurveda is much more than just herbal medicine. And since then, I started working to look at, from science point of view, the basic concepts of Ayurveda. Because our group had a very good cohort of rheumatoid arthritis, and we knew at that time the relationship of RA and HLA-DRB gene. At that time, human genome project was just emerging. I'm talking about 2000 when I hypothesized it, and I hypothesized that Ayurvedic concept of dosha prakriti, Vata Pitta Kapha, has genetic connotation. But as a science student, hypothesis making is one thing. We have to test it. So we had a cohort of RA patients. And although at that time genetics was not that evolved and advanced, we could actually see, we could get our first PCR on the campus. We decided to use it for this purpose. And we selected HLA-DRB gene and we studied the distribution of allele by polymorphism study. Simple study. And we showed that alleles of HLA-DRB1 gene get distributed in a statistically different power in Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. For the first time, a solid biological evidence was emerged in favor of basic traditional concepts. And then I said that, wow, this is something very, very unique, means otherwise till that time, although we say that we are all 99.9% same genetically, we had no clue how to classify between genotypes and phenotypes. Even today we get confused. We talk about personalized medicine, and you rightly said that we may get our whole genome scan, What do you do with that data? In one of our earlier book called Integrative Approaches for Health, which is published by Academic Press, we have said that the genomic route to integrative medicine is a long drawn route, and one day you will be buried down your own data. You will not probably reach anywhere. But the genomic, through Ayurvedic genomic route will be much faster, because today they are doing it. Joshi ji will tell you today how they practice, But they are able to distribute you in 3 different classes immediately. In no time he will do it. And that is based on certain attributes. And they have genetic basis. Definitely that's what we showed. This work we continued further. And now it is known as iGenomics. Some details tomorrow a colleague will be presenting. But iGenomics emerged as a major science branch which came from a basic concept of Ayurveda. And there are hundreds of such ideas coming in. What we used to do, all these days, and even today, what we are doing is after somebody else invents something, we go back and say, we knew it for 5,000 years. I think that era is gone. It's good that we knew it 5,000 years ago. But today there are several things which today's science doesn't know. We know. So we should go back. And there, for example, concept of Panchamahabhut, what is it? Or concept of rasa, what concept of, or guna, or agni, or srotasa. These are profound scientific concepts which need very, very rigorous investigation, scientific investigation. Just last 5 years, Nobel Prizes, if you see, you will see that you will get resonance of Ayurvedic or yogic forcing. But again, if we would have believed in our own upavasa, probably the Nobel Prize which went to autophagy would have gone to us, because fasting is such an integral part of our life. But nobody takes it seriously, especially in science. And this is so unfortunate. And therefore, when modern scientists will start looking at our own sciences with more seriousness, without compromising its rigor, then only the future will happen. And future medicine, I will say. I used to call allopathy as modern medicine, but then I stopped. I was co-chairing WHO expert group on traditional medicine until March this year. So in that global summit, my talk, I ended with this statement. I said that, and I accepted that I used to call it as modern medicine, but now I don't. And why? Because I think that conventional medicine or allopathy, when it will walk with traditional medicine, the combination will be future modern medicine. So that will be the real true modern medicine. And that's what the approach I think can emerge to this country. Because let me tell you, although Ayurveda originated from India or Bharat, that is India, it will regain or revisit or start believing that again when it comes from this country. Our mindset is such that when you are telling us in India, the acceptance will be much more rather than scientists or researchers like me in India talking in loud pitch all over. So I have a great hope, and therefore I decided to come here and attend it, because the cause is extremely important. The cause is not only for UK or for India. This is for universal well-being. And therefore, I'm saying that while modern science needs to get or evolve into meta-science, and meta-science, I'm using that term as a term because there is no direct translation. But what I mean is, if Gyan is about information and knowledge, Vigyan is Vishesha Gyan, that is modern science. And science is empirical. They say that what we can measure is true. What we cannot measure, we will invent equipments. If we can't see with naked eye, we will go to microscope, or we will go to telescope, or we will go to MRI, and all these kinds of, but they are again extensions of our senses. but there are things which are beyond our senses. So meta science is science of science. And so we are saying that modern medicine, like modern science, should evolve in this direction, looking at a bigger picture and not getting locked into only profits and medicines and drugs. There are thousands of evidences now coming up telling us that medicine management is not giving only pill or prescribing something. It has to be a co-journey. Doctors should be guardians, of health. And we should differentiate between health and medicine and don't use them as synonyms. We have been told repeatedly that by taking medicine, you will get health, which is absurd. When we lose health, we want medicine. And that you really explained it very well, that if you are having a heart attack, you can't go and do yoga. So this kind of approach, I think, is extremely important. It will have to be evolved. What I will do, that buzzer was for 10 minutes, I have 15 minutes. So just I will walk through very quickly the slides and I will end. You can just, yeah, go on. Just go on. Go on. Next. So these are existential threats, if you look at, I'll not again read, but I'll be happy to share this with you. Who drives science? Business, profits, or people? This is the question I'm putting up. Next. We follow blindly, at least in India, the American model of super specialty. When India needs more family physicians, which we have lost. Yeah. So next, we have to act before, and the country which we look at our model, look at the mental health status in America. CDC recent report, what it's telling you. Or all the big journals, including Lancet, BMJ, and JAMA are telling you, it's the overuse of medicine. Less is more, that's what they're talking about. Next. This is, just go back to this very witty article from BMJ. We talk about evidence, RCT is randomized double-blind placebo-controlled trial. Now, where is the double-blind trial for use of placebo? Placebo-controlled trial for use of parachutes which will save our lives. Any volunteers will be there if you want to take this, So we can't really go on only singular level of evidence. This evidence is circular. And evidence is not only what will come. They are important, RCTs we don't want to replace. They are important, but there is practice-based evidence also. Next, we'll go quickly. The model N is equal to 1 or NO1 studies, are becoming now important and they are extremely relevant for Ayurveda. Number only 1, but still statistically robust studies can be done. And there is a lot of literature now during last 5-6 years, if you have seen, it is coming up. Next. Biomedical research, 85% of biomedical research is going in West. And Darshan probably will tell you, majority of the clinical trial results are non-reproducible. John Ioannidis have consistently been presenting this in journals and forums. Next. This statin story is interesting, but I will not discuss about it, because there is no time. Again, there is a very huge data meta-analysis which has shown that excepting sigmoidoscopy, the cancer prognosis, and this is published in JAMA, I'm not telling you, there is no evidence that other methods have actually improved quality or extension of life. So what are we doing? And this data is about the 100,000 participants data they have collated here. Next. So medical error and unintentional injury, again, I'm not going to talk about, but BMJ paper and JAMA 2021, you will see. They don't like this medical error, so they just change the term to unintentional injury from BMJ to JAMA. Next. So healthcare, cure, scare, we have now reached to the health scam, because during COVID, we have seen that drugs which were proven to be not effective were sold in black market in India. Hydroxychloroquine was sold in black market, and in a randomized controlled clinical trial, we have shown that ashwagandha is a better drug than hydroxychloroquine. In RCT, we have shown this. Next. So high level of evidence, but low level of ethics. Today we are really witnessing. Next, we'll go fast now. Against this background, actually, the causes of death, this is data I'm not going to present because all of you know, but I studied because of this, the NHS. So next. top 10 causes. Again, this is for National Statistics Office, ONS, so you would know. But these are the real problems in UK here, top 10 causes of death. Next, which are the dominant diseases, and what kind of treatments we have towards these dominant diseases. The approach which was discussed by Dr. Rajiv today, that is the approach to manage these diseases, because many of these diseases you will find we are just quick fix symptomatic treatments we are giving. There is no long-term solution for any of this. So unless you integrate, you may integrate or you may complement or whatever term you want to use, but you have to come together. Next. Current health challenges, also aging population. We miss that and something. What are we going to do? We talked about telomerase. There are studies now that after doing meditation, the telomerase length has been changed in favorable. And not somebody ordinary scientist. This is Elizabeth Blackburn, Nobel laureate at the University of California. Her study on meditation, she is now more interested in meditation and consciousness related research. So all this, we have to really bring that together. Evidences are there, but it's our minds, if they are closed, what we are going to do. So most important thing is opening our mind. And as you know, mind is as parachute, unless it is open. Next. Again, next, this is a recent, the loneliness. So what UK is facing today, UK is going to face, or you already may be facing this loneliness problem here. But by 2030, globally, 1 in 6 people will be 60 years old. So we have to prepare. And that's why I said that what model will emerge from here will be useful for the whole world. Next. Dr. Polisetti also has written about it very well. And I think people, all of you, in collaboration with us, we have a lot to do. And next, Ayurveda can address these challenges through a variety of ways. And I don't want to spend time in giving you evidences, but I must tell you that there are. And we can create an evidence-based protocol. Next. Cost saving is most important. Safety is most important. Next. I'll not speak that, COVID-19 we showed in India, next, that by doing this complementary exercise, actually, next, we could complete more than 126 clinical trials in India during the period of 2 years. Most of them were registered. Most of them were multi-centric controlled trials. 130,000 participants at 150 sites. And for the first time, Ayurvedic and yoga-based or Ayush-based interventions have been shown. You will get more than 30 RCT published in PubMed journals. So we are not talking about any ordinary publications or journals. So this kind of a study we have done only in 2 years, and there is a fantastic success of this kind of integration. So this model which we studied for COVID can be used for several other diseases. Next. This our new study. We have been using this, but I'll not speak about it now, but several publications have come out of it. Next. Regulatory one, I will say that educational framework should be very, very seriously considered. Because in allopathy curriculum, what are we teaching to them about lifestyle and nutrition and diet? Nothing. No. So it has to come from Ayurveda and yoga, Swastha Vrutta and all, in mainstream education. Next. And this probably Darshan will talk. We have to also add tertiary care to the 4th tier, which is family care. And the level of community and family, we should empower people to take care of their own health. Next. Ayurveda is basically, and we have studied this in Ayurveda, medicines are important, but physiological and non-pharmacological interventions are equally important, and psychological interventions coming from yoga are also important. So if you combine this all, nutrition, food and lifestyle, look at Jama's new latest paper on food is medicine. This all of us know. Now my time is saying. Thank you. Next.
Yes.
Next. So these slides I'm going to share with you, but this is the model of integration which we had proposed during our WHO summit, and this model with little bit of modification we'll be able to come out with. But preparing robust protocols is extremely important, and that we can do it jointly. Thank you. Next. Next, this is WHO declaration, Gujarat declaration. You will find resonance of these thoughts if you read through that declaration. Now, because of WHO Center has come out in India, there is a lot of scope to do this at a global level as well. Next. Thank you. I'm done actually. Thank you.